top down, riding around with the blick. Who you with? Whoa. What's up? It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and my Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel, who has been taking out the time to watch the videos and leave the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Without y'all, there's no About Time Boxing family or Trill 100 Mil gang. Y'all make it possible, and for that I'm very, very appreciative to each and every one of y'all. If you have not already subscribe to the channel and let everybody else know about Rashawn's About Time Boxing, so y'all can stay up on the latest in boxing and become a part of the About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang. Whoa. Jaron Ennis is, listen, he's the new Boogeyman of the welterweight division. Period. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is the new Boogeyman of the welterweight division. Period. And in my opinion, he's the uncrowned IBO welterweight champ. That belt should be his. And I keep telling people that Jaron Ennis is a special talent, but nobody wants to believe it. Everybody keeps saying, oh yeah, well, he ain't fighting nobody, or he beat a bunch of bums. Did he? Or is it, like I said before, his skill level is just that high that he makes the people that he get in the ring with look like bums? Juan Carlos Abreu never been stopped in his entire career. Boots stopped him. 5 or 6 rounds, shut him down. Boom. Then people keep talking about, oh, he not known. Really? Then how come nobody wants to fight this unknown kid? And I guarantee you, if the top guys or the champions or whoever in that division, if the question comes up about fighting him, I bet you they gonna want a whole lot of money. All right, well, if y'all want me to fight him, then I want this amount of money. If he's nobody and he's been fighting bums like people claim, then he should be easy work for the top competition. But guess what? You and I both know that that's not true. We know that is not true. This kid is athletically gifted, born into the boxing game. Like Floyd, he can do, like Floyd said, I do this shit in my sleep. While other fighters putting on weight and all that stuff in between fights, waiting to get a call, listen, Boost in the gym. Even after his fights, oh, I'm right back in the gym on Monday. No days off. This kid grinds and works really, really hard. Then people talking about, oh, he ain't going, he don't have that drawing ability. Yeah, okay. Let some of these scared top welterweights stop running and fighting. Then we gonna see. Because you got to remember, they thought the same thing about Floyd. Before he beat Oscar and became the man, nobody thought he was worth fighting. Oh man, it's a high risk, low reward. They said the same exact thing about Floyd Mayweather. Now look at Floyd now. To date, still did the biggest numbers on pay-per-view. Nobody has topped it. Nobody has topped it. In each fight that he did on pay-per-view, outdid the previous one. But he was still pegged at one point as being a high risk, low reward. Not marketable. Are you kidding me? Jaron Ennis is official like a ref with a whistle, or official tissue, if that's what you want to call it. He's all the above. And if you're being honest, y'all know it too. Oh, the Van Heerden fight didn't last long enough. Didn't take Van Heerden long enough. Didn't take him that long to realize that Jaron Ennis hits harder than Errol Spence. Because he told Boost that himself. Chris Van Heerden did. He said, I did 8 rounds with Errol Spence. He did a little over 2.5 minutes. 1 round. And everybody who was watching that fight, y'all knew what was getting ready to happen. Y'all seen it. Y'all knew it was getting ready to happen. And y'all could see that. Listen, and everybody else I talked to, they said, man, listen, even his ring walk, he had a certain look in his face. They said you could just look at him and tell. Statement. And even though the fight didn't go, the way that he would have liked for it to go, the statement was still made. And it was received. They on notice. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, none of those guys want to fight Jaron Ennis. As a matter of fact, Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, they said they'd rather retire rather than to have to fight him. Sean Porter said, look, he's the next big thing at 147. No doubts about it. But everybody just still, and listen, like I said, over right at Rashawn's Wild Time Boxing, listen, we don't hate on nobody. Spence is a hell of a fighter. Wouldn't be the unified champion if he wasn't. He is a hell of a fighter. But I also remember when he was trying to get the opportunity to prove himself. And none of the champions wanted to fight him. And he said, I'm here to prove that I'm the best at 147 and to fight the best that they got at 147. And he said he wanted to unify all of the belts. He wanted to be the undisputed champion. Well, when he was chasing Keith Thurman and all them guys, Keith Thurman came up with, oh, well, he's too green. He didn't have enough fights yet. Let him get some more fights and some more experience under his belt. Then he was like, oh, let Errol Spence win the title first. And after and then Kell Brook was the only one who was willing to step up. Shout out to Kell Brook. He was the only one willing to step up. Put his IBF title on the line. And Errol Spence went and got that. And then he took Sean Porter's WBC belt. So he said he was here to prove that he's the best. Jaron Ennis is up there. And I'm talking about top 5-10. Best of the welterweights now. Now I want to take a listen. I want y'all to listen to what Sean Porter had to say about Jaron Ennis. Take a listen.
Appreciate that. Jaron Ennis is the next big thing at 147. I guarantee it. The dude is slick. And I've known his family for a long time. He comes from a boxing background. And grew up with gloves on. He's definitely the next thing at 147. Tell him don't call me out. I don't want to deal with that.
Tell him don't call me out. I don't want to deal with that. What does that tell you? And this is a guy who's chasing, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous welterweights. Terrence Crawford is extremely dangerous. I think Terrence Crawford is a very dangerous fighter. But Sean Porter want that, but he don't want no parts of Jaron Ennis, though. No parts. And like I said before, in my opinion, he's the uncrowned IBO welterweight champion. He is no longer a prospect or a top prospect. He's an uncrowned champion. And to me, which qualifies him for any slice of the welterweight crown. Or all of it. In my opinion. All of it. So what's going to happen when he becomes the mandatory for these belts? And just not too long ago, he wasn't even ranked in the WBA. That goes to show you that they don't want no parts. And if he ranked in the WBA now, it's probably way at the bottom somewhere. Or maybe somewhere in the middle, 15 or something like that. But what does that tell you? So what's going to happen when he becomes a mandatory? They going to do what Canelo did? They going to do what Lomachenko did? Lomachenko didn't want to fight Devin Haney. He dropped the belt, then petitioned the WBC for a franchise belt. Canelo didn't want to fight Jamal Charlo at 154 or at 160. Two weight classes he was Canelo's mandatory. 160, Canelo dropped the belt, petitioned for a franchise belt. And the franchise belt, you can't compete for that. You can't fight for that. That's why they saying they trying to make you think that Teofimo Lopez is the undisputed, but he's not. Devin Haney has the real WBC belt. Teofimo got the franchise belt that Lomachenko had. He petitioned for it, just like Lomachenko did and just like Canelo did. And then people talk trash about Devin Haney, about how he won the belt. Oh, he won it through a fax and this, that, and the third. It's not his fault Lomachenko didn't want to fight him. He was the mandatory. He was ready to fight. Loma didn't want that fight. And the same thing with Canelo, with Charlo. Canelo didn't want that fight. So what's going to happen when he becomes the mandatory? For the BA, the BC, or the IBO, the IBF, what's going to happen? Are they going to drop the belts? Petition for a franchise belt? Jaron Ennis is going to be a lot bigger than y'all think. And like I said, y'all can say whatever y'all want about his promoter, about the high risk, low reward, about him not being known and all that. But like I said, do your research and know who Cameron Duncan is. Cameron Duncan is one of the smartest minds and one of the biggest names in boxing. And if y'all knew about Cameron Duncan, that y'all know that he was responsible for guiding the careers of over 30 world champions. That don't sound like somebody who don't know what they doing. That sound like somebody you would want to be around. And like I said before, I think that they've done a beautiful job the way they brought Jaron Ennis along. And if he's been fighting bums, and ain't really fight nobody, then it should be easier for the top level opposition to beat him. Then he should be easy work. Then he should be easy work. But see, it's the exact opposite. They saying everybody that he get in the ring with, he's making them look like they're bums. So that goes to show you just how hard this kid worked, and to show you that his skill set is way different. When he did his interview with Brian Custer, he said, I got all the tools. I have the skill set to reign supreme at 147. That's why he told Brian Custer on the last stand that he was the best at 147. And even though he didn't have no belt, even Brian Custer looked bewildered at the comment. You asked the man the question and he answered it. But because it wasn't the answer that you thought it was supposed to be, it's like, oh, what? But what about Crawford? Or what about them? He calling all them guys out. What, y'all think he just doing it for publicity? Y'all think he doing it for attention? No, he could care less about that. You still got certain fighters that has that throwback mentality, and they really want to prove that they are the best in their division. You only got a few of them. Devin Haney is one. Shakur Stevenson is another one. Jaron Ennis is another one. You only got certain fighters that really want to prove that they the best in their division, and not just do a lot of talking or ask for a whole lot of money to get out of the fight. So what do y'all think? Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments. Do y'all feel like Jaron Ennis is being ducked? Because I do. And remember, like I said, for everybody that's saying what they saying about Jaron Ennis not being a draw, about his marketing, his promoter, and the high risk, low reward and all that, just remember this. All of those things that y'all attached to him, Floyd Mayweather went through the same thing. And look at Floyd now. You got people still calling him out. Floyd could be dead in the grave and people will be at his gravesite talking about, listen, man, let me, I want to fight you. And I guarantee you that's the same thing that's going to happen with Jaron Ennis. You watch. Well, now, when he become the mandatory, don't nobody want to fight him. And he end up becoming a champion, by somebody dropping the title to him. I don't want to hear that. Oh, well, he wouldn't have beat him anyway, or they didn't fight him because it wasn't worth it. No, they didn't fight him because they were scared. Scared. Okay? So, let's see what's going to happen next. Let's see. Because he's destined to be world champion at 47 and 54. It's inevitable. And if you know boxing, you know that. You can see it. You can sense it. You can smell it. You can taste it. It's in the air. You already know it. Each time he step in the ring, he's stepping there, with bad intentions. He steps in there, with intentions to make a big statement every time. And he's constantly looking to improve. He's his worst critic when it comes to his working out. No matter how good he perform, he'll still always turn around and say, I can get better. There's room for improvement. I'm going to do better the next fight. He always say that. This is a kid who's dedicated to his craft. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Drop me some comments. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV. Shout out to Aki TV, Dante's Boxing Nation, Showboat TV, and the biggest shout and the biggest love goes out to my About Time Boxing family and my Trill 100 Mil gang. You already know.